Coming up on Mountain News at 6, we now know more about a former Johnson Central girls basketball coach's indictment. We'll share those details coming up. And federal lawmakers are working to get more Kentuckians relief after the July flooding.
And the official start of fall is in about 3 hours or so, but we are already tracking some chilly temperatures. I have those details coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
A former coach at Johnson Central High School is facing serious charges involving alleged sex crimes. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox takes a closer look at his indictment.
A Johnson County grand jury indicted Darren Rice on charges of first-degree sexual abuse, third-degree rape, and third-degree sodomy. Each charge is a Class D felony, and together they could add up to anywhere between a 3- and 15-year sentence if he is convicted. Rice recently resigned as the Johnson Central High School girls basketball coach. Johnson County Schools released a statement saying our priority is the safety and welfare of all students. Rice was released from the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center on a $5,000 bail. He is scheduled to appear in court on November 21st. In Paintsville, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
We did reach out to Kentucky State Police for more information today, but we have not received anything yet. State police detectives are investigating a shooting in Leslie County. It happened early Monday on Lee Co Road in the Wooten community. Troopers say a, quote, domestic disturbance led to several individuals sustaining injuries from gunfire. The Leslie County Coroner's Office pronounced 20-year-old Eric Sturgill of Wooten dead at the scene. 51-year-old Rodney Fouts was also shot. Officers say he was taken to Hazard ARH and then to UK Hospital for treatment. No arrests have been made, and troopers say charges are pending. We have an update on a story we first told you about yesterday. Officials with the Buchanan County, Virginia Sheriff's Office say they have identified a body found near Grundy. Officers say the person is 47-year-old Joseph Harold Belcher of Breaks, Virginia. The deputies say they do not believe foul play was involved, and the cause of death will be determined by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner out of Virginia. The Wise County, Virginia Sheriff's Office needs your help finding a missing man. Take a look at this picture of 32-year-old Robbie Douglas Amos. Officers say he was last seen on Monday. If you have any information, you should call the Wise County Central Dispatch at 276-328-3756.
Well, if you haven't stepped outside this evening, I highly suggest it because we are looking at some absolutely gorgeous weather across the region. Here's a live look right now over at I-75 in Mount Vernon, looking at plentiful sunshine and blue sky. And same story over at I-75 in Corbin, just down the road, currently sitting at 72 with plenty of blue sky. Temperatures around the region in the upper 60s and lower 70s, 65 in Pikeville, 66 for Clintonwood, 67 in Jackson, a little bit warmer over the Cumberland Valley, 72 for Somerset and 72 also in London. Up on Pinpoint Doppler, a clean sweep. We had a few showers earlier this morning, but those are well off towards the south as that front continues to move off towards the south, and that means we are looking at some cooler and drier air moving into the region from the north, and that means some chilly air is on the way. Check this out. 45 the low temperatures tonight. Be sure to bundle up if you have any outdoor plans. Steve.
All right, Cameron, thank you. Governor Beshear gave an update on the flooding response during his Team Kentucky news conference today. 32 service connections are still without water, but that's down from more than 34,000 on July 28th. Kentucky state parks are housing more than 330 people still. More than 400 people are in 149 travel trailers across 7 state parks. More than 225,000 tons of debris has been removed already. FEMA has approved more than $71 million in grants for 7,610 households. The Team Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund has now raised more than $9.7 million. After the Team Kentucky update today, the governor posted a video on Twitter at one of the locations where he and President Biden visited shortly after the flooding. Here's a look at what he had to say about Kentucky's recovery.
Where I'm standing right now is actually where we stopped with the president. Multiple buses had been pushed through buildings. This entire area devastated. And look at it today, just 2 months later. That debris has been picked up, and the next stage right here is rebuilding. We're going to make it step by step, and we're not going anywhere. We're going to be in eastern Kentucky until we get the job done.
The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet has identified more than 850 private bridges within flood-impacted counties. Officials with the governor's office said more than 730 of those have been assessed by a team including FEMA and Transportation Cabinet officials. He said so far 40 of them have been approved by FEMA for emergency repair funding. Governor Beshear announced the death toll from the flood remains at 40, but 2 Breathitt County women are still missing. 60-year-old Vanessa Baker and 29-year-old Nancy Cundiff are both from the Lost Creek community. Governor Beshear said Kentucky Emergency Management and state police are continuing to search for the women. Anyone with information about their whereabouts should call KSB Post 13 here in Hazard at 606-435-6069. The recovery continues in many communities across eastern Kentucky after the historic flooding. As Congress works to avoid a government shutdown, WYMT Washington News Bureau's David Aid asked some Kentucky lawmakers how they plan on helping the state's recovery.
After the rushing water dried up, after the presidential visit, the cleanup and recovery in Kentucky continues.
They're suffering mightily.
Kentucky Congressman Hal Rogers tells me he wants more federal money to help people in his district recover from historic and devastating summer flooding.
So I'll be seeking money through the appropriations process for the various aspects of recovery. We've got to get our people back on their feet.
Congress is still grappling with passing a short-term funding bill to prevent a government shutdown through the midterm elections. I asked Senator Rand Paul whether he believes that presents an opportunity.
And what you see in here potentially to help out folks in Kentucky who have been devastated by the flooding that happened this summer.
One of the things I've recommended is we have spent all this money on COVID that's now just sitting around. And some of that money I think could be diverted to disasters, and we proposed that as well.
Senator Mitch McConnell's office reiterated the senator's comments that he will, quote, continue to use my role in the Senate to advocate for extensive federal aid for eastern Kentucky. Lawmakers have until September 30th to pass a short-term funding bill to avoid a government shutdown. But if additional funding for disaster recovery is not included, there could be more opportunity before the midterm elections. This week, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announced the Senate will return to Washington in October. In Washington, I'm David Aid.
Well, Riverside Christian School in Breathitt County has dealt with floodwaters twice in the past 2 years. On Monday, students finally walked back through the front doors to start a new school year. WYMT's Olivia Calfee has more.
Even though many things look different inside and outside of Riverside Christian School, Principal Meg Asher says nothing will stop them.
And I'm just excited that we're still here. We're still going. We're still excited. We have a full staff that are pumped and ready to go. And so I'm getting all of the kids back and saying, look, like flood can't keep us down. We're still moving.
On Monday, the students walked through the doors for the first time since the flood.
I'm just excited we're back. I know a lot of people were wondering if Riverside was done, if we were just going to call it after, second flood in 16 months.
Many things look different around the school, and Asher says parts of the building are no longer able to be used.
And we're going to accept how it is for right now and continue building. So our administrator actually, through the day, he's out working on rebuilding and flood relief while I'm running the school. And so it's kind of a divide and conquer. When staff aren't teaching, they're helping mop other parts of the building or whatever needs to be done.
Doing whatever they can to ensure the students have their school back. Understanding the past few months haven't been easy.
I think just having somewhere consistent to come and be, and just, as much as they don't want to be at school, at least it kind of gets them away from their reality. We have a handful of students who lost everything.
proving that not one or two floods could keep them away from their students. In Breathitt County, Olivia Calfee, WYMT Mountain News.
Asher says the school has also added a full-time counselor to their staff, and they're doing what they can to help provide any resources their students may need.
All is quiet around the mountains right now, but will this continue into your weekend? We'll talk about that in just a moment.
And Pikeville is gearing up for some Mustangs at the mines this weekend. What participants hope to accomplish while they're here in the mountains.